Hi everyone, this is Daniela Murray and this is my Module 1 discussion post. I chose option 2 where we pick 2 competencies that we feel that we're strongest at and 2 that we feel that we're weakest at. And let me just start off by saying that I appreciated the text, not just because it explained all the competencies, but that it prefaced the whole breakdown beforehand, explained how this came about, why this came about, why this is important. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's hard to articulate the world of student affairs and higher ed and everything that goes into it, and seeing it all on paper was kind of eye-opening to be like, oh, this is what we do, and this is what I do, and this is what we do, and it was just kind of reaffirming in a way to see that so much time and effort has been put towards this, and it's just refreshing. I'll give everyone a little bit of background information will help me explain my choices on my weaknesses and my strengths. I currently work at the Office of the Registrar here at UNCW. I haven't done my supervised professional practice. I consider that my full-time gig right now. I am seeking out the internship hours as we speak, and I'm also in kind of a world of trying to figure out what I want to do in the future, my career path and goal. Like many of us, I've worked in higher education for a long time, but haven't really found my niche yet exactly. But working on it with the help of Dr. DeVita and everyone in the program, and I'm appreciative. So with that being said, I'm going to cover my 2 strengths at this point, and the 2 strengths, the 2 competencies that I found that I'm strongest at are the equity, diversity, and inclusion, and then the ethical professional practice. I find that I've always been the one in the workplace or the group that I've been able to put myself in other people's shoes and just see perspective from all angles. I think maybe the sociology major from my undergrad helped with that. I find that I go out of my way to look at the long-term circumstances and conclusions for decisions made and policies made and choices made within the office and what affects staff members, faculty, students. I'm often the person in the meeting that people are giving big ideas and we're collaborating, and I'm the one that's raising their hand and saying, well, what if this, or how will this affect that person, or have we ran this by them? Just kind of encumbering all perspectives as best as I can. I play that role in my work now, and I look back at different experiences and situations where I've been that voice of not reason, but just perspective, I guess. In specific situations, right now we are working on making UNCW a little more friendly to name changes and preferred names for just in general, and then also for gender equality. If John wants to go by Jan, we can have that officially in the records. Baby steps, but we're working with transition programs and other offices on campus to help make that happen. And then I'm also the HR kind of person in our office, or not officially, but just by default. For those who don't know, I'm kind of like the office manager and the executive assistant for the Office of the Registrar, and I find that those kind of roles tend to get that those responsibilities. The general admin seems to take on more of like mother hen type of role, for lack of better terms. So I think in all, when it comes to just the big picture and just thinking of all the outliers and the circumstances, I'm always that kind of person, attention to detail, and I'm organized and a planner, and just trying to keep everyone treated fairly and equal opportunity, and just bringing in perspectives. And so those are kind of combination, ethical standard practice, and then the equity, diversity, and inclusion just celebrates differences. So I kind of bunch those together for the lack of time. I tend to ramble, if you couldn't notice already, if you've had class with me before. So those are my strengths. And as for the weaknesses, the 2 I picked was the planning, evaluation, and research. I find I'm a planner, but I don't have very much experience with assessment and research. But I'm in the research and higher education class right now, so hopefully by the end of the summer I'll feel a little more confident. And then the other weakness I picked was actually the student learning and development. I have supervised students for a long time. I supervise students right now, up to 20 at a time, but I've never received any formal training or guidance. It's always been kind of like how the cookie crumbled, or just kind of thrown into it. And I've always felt that I've done well, but I don't know for sure. I think I have, but I would love to learn a little more of a theory and research and lessons behind it, so I'm excited to learn from others. I do love that part of my job, though, which is kind of funny. It's my weakest competency, or one of my weakest, but it's my favorite part of my job and overall. So I'm excited to strengthen those two areas, and I think I will with the job I have now. With future endeavors, we are planning a little more assessment and evaluation on the registrar side, or record keeping side, with General Assembly, the GA, and the state coming down with new regulations. A lot of reflection on what we've done and planning for the future when it comes to just record keeping and student success. So I think I'll gradually be exposed and learn more about that area. And then as for student learning and development, I'm going to continue supervising students, hiring, firing, training, supporting our student workers. We recently have our student workers now transitioned to the front counter of the registrar's office in James Hall. Typically we've had them in the back doing an array of different tasks, but now we have them the front line. They're the first point of contact for our office, and that's been a transition for us. And very exciting, a very learning experience for everyone involved. So overall, I think I have a strength and weakness in all the competencies, if I had to break it down. And I'm excited to just kind of view my experiences in a different way now that I know these competencies, which is really helpful. I think that's about it. I think I've covered everything, but I could be wrong. But I'm excited to hear about everyone else, and thank you so much.